Go Nuggets, because I have nobody to root for, because they're gonna get smoked.
Yeah, your team not doing so well. Mine,
Celtics have given up. Go Nuggets.
Well, they're down 6 after 1, so we'll see what happens the next 3 quarters.
Cool.
Maybe they won't make it a sweep. Who knows? Anyways, how we doing, everybody?
It's charge time or recharge.
It's recharge time.
Yeah, it is recharge. It is fantastic time of the year. We are, 9 days away, Johnny? 9?
I don't know how to math
It's
right now.
next Thursday night, and I am so upset I'm not going. Why did you move the date?
I know.
All right, we have Miss Splinter, we have Tommy, we have Just Your Average Jen, we got Queen, we got Jared. How we all doing tonight, R&P faithful?
What's up, everybody?
All right. Let's get right into it, shall we? How's it going, everybody? Yeah. Welcome to another episode of the Do's and Belts Recharge Post Show here on YouTube. I am your host, Johnny Deathdrop, and what a second to last charge before Milestone that we get to talk about this evening. A lot of stuff.
This was interesting,
tonight.
John. This was interesting.
We have not 1, not 2, but 3 official matches announced for Milestone 13 as well to talk about on top of everything that happened tonight on Charge. Before we get into everything, let's introduce the panel for tonight. On the left, we have the one that lives way up there on the East Coast of Maine, the inventor of the Beacon of the Week, the one and only Coastal Crusader.
What is going on, everybody? The Celtics may be losing, but as R&P faithful, we never lose when Charge is on. Tonight was no exception. We had a lot of interesting things. And, Johnny, we saw a contract signing in blood tonight. That was interesting.
Literally, yes. Correct.
Yes.
And on the right, he is the voice of Ignition himself. He is the encyclopedia of Rocky Mountain Pro, the one and only Lucas freaking Bradwell. How's it going?
Hey, I am doing fantastic. My team is in the NBA Finals. The company I love is 9 days away from the biggest event of the year. And we saw so much. You're right, the damnedest contract signing I've ever seen in my life. And the greatest referee of all time as well. I think he did a fantastic
job.
That's
one way to describe how he did. Biasly, I agree. But.
So a lot of stuff to talk about, and I am pumped. I mean, I'm even more pumped than I was last week, and you know how hard it was to contain me, Johnny.
This is true. All right, well, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right down into it. This is the second to last charge before the big event, so a lot of stuff happened tonight. Let's get right down into it. Starting off, we have, of course, the law office and JK Pop and that ongoing situation that they're dealing with right now. What are your thoughts on, it seems like JK Pop specifically are on the brink of destruction.
There's that, but there's also, where's Sky? Is he just like not at the office? Like, is he out of office?
He was in the helicopter.
Like, apparently he was flying, but like, it's not the first time we haven't seen him, Johnny. Let's face it. And then we got Caden, who apparently Caden is done with the let's go play putt-putt golf and figure this out. You can't get things done for me. Caden, I think, has wiped this off, like, pretty much. And then you have Lola, and Lola's like, she just wants to have fun. And why can't we get along? I'll tell you what, this match at Milestone has mega implications, and not just for JK Pop as a tag team. I think it has big implications for the law office as a group, but I think it has big implications in RMP because if JK Pop doesn't make nice, this isn't going away anytime soon. Johnny Casanova isn't one to just go away if he doesn't get his own way. We know that, Lucas. And Caden, I think Caden is ready for this to be done. I think Caden's going to hand him beaten if Johnny isn't ready.
I totally agree. I think Caden is taking this a more business-like approach to this match, where I'm seeing Casanova is taking it a little more personally. I think it's more personal to Casanova. I think this is more business for Caden. and Preston doesn't know what the hell to do. He has lost all control of the law office. He doesn't know what the hell to do.
He's trying to distract them. It seems he's just trying to make it go away.
Right? Yeah, he's hoping that if he does enough BSing, that this will just get swept under the rug. It's not. It's nothing that he can say or do is going to change Danger Dean's mind. This is official. It's happening, and Dean has made it even more official as he's putting these guys in more singles matches, and to kind of get them ready for their match at Milestone. So.
Or is he just helping the inevitable, the demise of J.K. Pop? Is he preparing them for singles life?
I think he's enjoying watching the demise.
Oh, we all are.
I think that's what is happening. I think you're seeing President Dean having fun, playing around with J.K. Pop a little bit, and I got to say it couldn't happen to two nicer guys, and I'm kind of glad for it.
All right. We'll see what happens as we get closer to the event, but we will be seeing one half of JK Pop in action later on tonight in one of those singles matches. I believe the other one will probably be on next week. We got to move on to CBD. CBD was apparently partying at the bar before his match.
Surprise.
Which ended up being a 6-man tag match. And this has huge Milestone 13 implications, as we heard during the course of this match. Between Jason Knoll, Panthro, and CBD, they're going to team up tonight. And they're going to take on your starting lineup and your former charge champion, Remy D, which we all know the history between Remy D and CBD, especially what happened at Peak of the Pack. Give us your thoughts on CBD and his demeanor, apparently, heading into Milestone 13, as we now know officially that it's going to be CBD versus Remy D in a no disqualification match for the Charge Championship at Milestone.
So, I mean, here's the thing about CBD is I doubted him before. I didn't think he was taking Remy seriously, and he pulled one over on me. I mean, shame on me for thinking he didn't have a plan and he was being lackadaisical. He got into Remy's head, which nobody had done before, and he wound up walking home with a title. Things are different this time. He can't do that. Remy is a different Remy this time. This is the beast, not the beauty.
I don't know about that specifically, because every single time Remy D and CBD has met ever since then, CBD has gotten the best of him. Granted, not in the best way, but he seems to keep on getting under Remy's head and getting in his head.
He does, but here's the thing. There's no way out in a no DQ match.
This is true.
It isn't. There's no way you can take a psychological advantage out. Remy is going to beat the tar out of CBD, and it just, no one understands this, I think, better than Remy. This is going to be different, Lucas, than anything we have seen before out of Remy. We've seen tastes of, yes, Remy got disqualified or Remy is snapping as we look, but in this type of match, Lucas, that's what's going to happen. And CBD does not understand what he has unleashed with this version of Remy.
No, he has no idea. I don't know if you were able to catch what I said on Ignition, but I had a nice conversation backstage with Remy at Ignition, very candid conversation about his past, his upbringing in Detroit. He talked very candidly to me about that. He really did not want to go back to being the old Remy that he was back in Detroit, Michigan, because he did a lot of things that he kind of regrets. He did a lot of things that he was pushed by bullies and things.
Survival.
It was a survival mode. He doesn't want to get to that, but Carson, CBD has pushed him to that. A lot of other guys have pushed him. I think CBD's pushed him over the edge. I think he was getting there. I've seen this change in Remy
until this.
Yeah, Sledge and Curtis Cole. It's been building up. I think he's felt that everyone has been trying to push him, and CBD has went over the edge. I have seen a very different demeanor in Remy when I see him backstage and when I'm having a conversation with him. I don't see the same jovial Remy that I'm used to. I'm seeing this very almost kind of a dark Remy, the way he talks to me. So you can almost hear it in his voice. It's something I'm not used to.
Or it's that 1,000-yard stare where they're talking to you, but they're talking through you.
Yeah. And then we also saw those eyes on Ignition. Those eyes that after he lost to Damon Ace, I couldn't believe what I saw.
Lost.
Yeah, if that's what CBD's got to go up against Milestone in a no disqualification match, CBD not only should be worried about his Charge Championship, but he should be worried about his well-being, about his physical well-being, his career, maybe his life, because
desperate people do desperate things, and Remy wants that title back. I'm not saying Remy is desperate, but he's been backed into a corner. This is when the worst of people comes out, is when they feel they're cornered. And this is going to be a different Remy than I think anybody has seen before.
Yeah, as Remy put it, CBD is bringing out the ghetto in me. That's not good.
Mm-mm.
Well, I'm sure tonight didn't help either during the 6-man tag match between CBD, Panthro, and Jason Knoll going up against your starting lineup and Remy D.
No, definitely didn't do the demeanor of Remy D any favors. As we'll get to it more. We even saw what happened after the match. We saw how he looked. This Remy D we do not recognize.
No, and it's more of CBD. It's not even the fact what he's doing. It's not that he's winning. He's disrespecting Remy D. He's disrespecting. I don't want to say the Charge title because I've never once held the title. I can't say that, but to Remy, he's disrespecting the Charge Championship and the pedestal that Remy brought that up to. That was a premier title on Charge every week, and Remy was defending it. And I feel like Remy thinks CBD is disrespecting this title.
No, that's exactly what he thinks. He's disrespecting what is the working man's championship. It always has been the working man's championship in Rocky Mountain Pro, and Remy does not see CBD as the working man. He sees him as somebody who thinks he's better, that he can, kind of. We've seen in these 6-man tags and these 8-man tags, he's kind of let his tag team partners do most of the work, and then he kind of just cleans up the mess at the very end. That's been CBD's kind of MO pretty much his entire career here at Rocky Mountain Pro.
The title is an accessory to CBD. It's not a way of life, and that bothers Remy greatly. And it should, because Remy elevated that title, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're 100% correct on that.
Can't disagree with you there in those statements. Remy D was probably one of the best Charge champions Rocky Mountain Pro has ever had.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, over 300 days as Charge champion. Can you imagine how many title defenses he actually had?
But it's that, and it's the crowd interaction. It's the like every time that title was contended, no matter if it was first on the card, last on the card, or the middle, it was a main event type atmosphere.
So, because of this match, obviously President Dean made these matches official for Milestone 13. We talked about Remy versus CBD in a no DQ match. We also have your starting lineup going up against Pantho and Jason Knoll. So YSL is finally going to get their hands on Jason Knoll for the first time as a unit. And it's gotten personal. It's been personal for a little while now, especially since Jason Knoll has completely ditched YSL and is going on his own, and apparently has a partner in Pantho, which quote me if I'm wrong, Lucas, but I think Pantho and Jason Knoll are undefeated as a tag team.
I think you're right. I believe they've won all the matches they've been a team with. They looked great on Ignition this past week. So yeah, they've been great. I can't believe how fast that they've gelled together. Which, now thinking about it, it shouldn't really be that big of a surprise because they've got similar attitudes. They've got huge chips on their shoulder. So honestly, if you know Jason Knoll and you know Panthro, these two actually would get along great because of the similar attitudes, and so they make for a good team. I hate to admit it, but they make for a very good team, and this is going to be very tough for your starting lineup. They probably weren't figuring that Jason Knoll would find a tag team partner that he would get along with so quickly. That's probably not what they expected.
They may not have expected it, Lucas, but here's the thing. Yes, Panthro and Jason Knoll are undefeated. Yes, they are a very good tag team. They worked, very well tonight in that 6-man tag. And from what I've seen, it's very impressive. Here's the way I think this match will go at Milestone. If Panthro starts, yes, Panthro is going to be in the match. And if he starts that match, it is going to be much like a tag team match. You're going to see YSL work in and out. The moment Jason Knoll gets in that match and Kendrick LaRoe gets his hands on him, it immediately is going to become a handicap match because they are going to isolate him. And YSL is going to take their aggression out on him together. And Panthro will cease to exist in this match. They will make this a handicap match, and they are a good enough tag team. They are going to cut the ring in half, and I think that is what's going to win them this match. Is because they're just straight aggression.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm not that I necessarily disagree with you, but let's not forget that Jason Knoll is a 15-plus year veteran, and he knows how to manipulate things. I think that he can maybe get Kendrick and Briscoe off their game, especially Kendrick. I think Kendrick's shown a little bit more of a tendency to lose his cool. I think that Jason Knoll can take advantage of that. And yeah, you're right that they are going to be trying to isolate Jason Knoll and take all their aggression out. But I think Jason Knoll can use that to his advantage. He is extremely smart. I've watched this guy. I've known him before he was a Batu. I've seen this guy, what he's capable of. So yeah, that would be maybe a smart strategy by your starting lineup, but it also could be a detriment that Jason Knoll can use to his advantage. So don't count out Jason Knoll that he's not able to use the aggression, especially out of Kendrick, to his advantage.
All right. Let's continue on here. We did have a backstage interaction with Lord Mitchell Taylor and Manny Lemons. We'll talk about that as we get going later on in the show because they had a lot to say and really kind of force their way into a altercation with Isa later on in the show. So we'll hold off on that. But let's talk about what we talked about at the opening here. Let's talk about this contract signing. All right. I'm sure a lot of people back at home watched this and thought it was a horror movie and thought this was probably...
Preston looked terrified and he was there.
I think Preston's starting to reconsider the whole Rocky Mountain
I think it's the first time he ever reconsidered being a lawyer in his life. He's just like, nah, I'm good. I don't have a lawyer degree. Nah, I'm good.
But what are your guys' thoughts on this interaction between Lilith and JC and that contract signing, which is probably one of the most disturbing contract signings, I think. I think we can all say it here in the chat as well in the RMP Faithful. That was probably one of the more weirdest contract signings that didn't even end in violence that I've never seen before. Honestly.
Well, we all know that wrestling contract signings, just like weddings, very rarely end in non-violence.
Yeah, exactly.
But this was, I think
No words either.
Salem. I think Salem and Christy and Noel need to take a step back now and realize this is not what they thought. They thought they were intimidating. They thought that Lilith, they were inside her head, and no, this showed me Lilith has an even keel, and she is willing to do whatever it takes, but she's in control of herself. This is the worst nightmare for the Asylum. This is what they wanted, and they really need to be careful because this isn't what anybody wanted. Lilith, before she became the Warhammer, when she was the demon, was extremely dangerous, but not effective because she couldn't control rage. Then we saw her kind of give up the rage, concentrate more on her in-ring stuff with the Warhammer. She became dominant. This hybrid, could be terrifying. And I don't think Salem Wolf understands what he has unlocked, Lucas.
Why don't you ask her yourself, considering she just popped in the chat?
I'm picking her at Milestone. I am, and I know how dominant. I don't have to ask her because I know what she's thinking. She's going to win, and I really believe this, Johnny. I'm calling it right now. I think that this hybrid demon Warhammer is going to pound all the nails in the coffin on JC.
I 100% agree. But Lilith Grimm, with this hybrid that you talk about, the demon and the Warhammer, the war demon, as some people have been calling it, this might be the most dangerous person that we've ever had in the Lockheads division. I know we've seen some dangerous individuals, obviously JC, but this person, Lilith Grimm, this war demon, I've never seen a combination of what's capable in the ring and then what she's capable of doing to someone's mental state and mental psyche. I know it's how do you get in the head of someone who's in an asylum? But I kind of think that she is getting in the head a little bit of, if not JC, I think she's getting a little bit in the head of Salem Wolf. I think, Salem kind of puts on a good mask, but I think deep down inside that man is worried.
Well, look at his reaction tonight.
This is the first time his mind games haven't worked.
Yeah. I think he is worried. I know he had that kind of smile on his face after, JC put the knife in her mouth and cut her mouth to, spit her signature on the contract. I guess that's what she did. But when Lilith, took that blade, cut her hand, and then just smacked her hand right on the paper, I could feel I could feel the nervousness out of the asylum. I think that they couldn't believe what they were seeing, to be honest with you. They were just trying to put on an act that they weren't a little bit intimidated. I think Lilith Grimm has now been the intimidator and is no longer intimidated at all by the asylum.
However, I will be that asshole in this situation. And I know that she is in chat, and she will probably scorn me for all eternity.
Be careful. You're going to be out there in a week. Be careful.
I understand this, and I am going at my own risk here when I say this. Do I think Lilith has the upper hand against JC? Yes. Do I think she has the upper hand against the asylum? No. Why do I say that? Is she's going to be by herself unless she finds somebody last second. Pretty sure this is a no disqualification match. I can't imagine a coffin match would have any type of rules whatsoever. Don't sit here and tell me that the asylum is not going to be out there with JC making sure that she gets the victory.
But here's
with
the thing,
orderlies,
Johnny.
possibly.
How many people has the asylum harmed? Lilith Grimm is standing up to them. If she needs backup, who knows who can maybe come out and even the odds.
I don't know.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Even if you don't like Lilith, you hate the asylum.
It's true.
You have a dog in the fight.
Do I have a dog in the fight?
No, I said even if you don't support Lilith Grimm, if you're against the asylum,
Oh,
you have a dog in the fight.
oh, for sure.
Like Skylar Slice
Yeah.
and these people that have been hurt
Brittany
by
Brooks.
the asylum. Yeah.
Just to name a few.
Lola.
Lola, too. I mean, yeah. I had to say it just because we can't overlook the fact that because of the stipulations of this match, there is bound to be some asylum presence with JC. And as
There
of right
always
now,
is.
no, as of right now, we don't know. And I'm gonna make the assumption that Lilith isn't looking for anybody to be on her side on this one. I think she's going at this by herself, full bore.
Well, she's
Putting
not
everything
expecting
else
help,
on the
but
line.
it's always welcome, right?
It is.
I also must say, I love that I learned about the Finnish culture from Lilith Grimm. She's taught me a lot about different sayings and different things in Finnish over the past year and a half or a couple years that I've been calling Lilith Grimm matches. I must say she's gotten me cultured with Finnish.
Cannot be translated.
Yeah, Sisu.
Sisu is someone who will never give up determination and will to dominate.
Yeah.
Sounds like Lilith Grimm to me.
Yeah, she taught me what iske means. That means strike in Finnish.
Well, we'll see what happens. We still have one more charge episode before Milestone 13. Obviously, anything can happen for the go home episode, but and I said this last week too. This is probably Lilith Grimm's. God, I can't talk tonight. Lilith Grimm's biggest match of her career, or one of.
Yes,
because I'm sure she's had other matches abroad, but this at Rocky Mountain Pro, at least in her Rocky Mountain Pro career, this is one of her biggest matches of her career. Period. End story. And of course, we can't forget it's for the Lockus Championship. That's just the icing on the cake.
Which she's never held.
Correct. Iskratua. Or Rauta.
Bless you.
Bless you, yes. I tried, you didn't.
I don't speak that language. I'm trying to learn Gaelic. It's hard enough.
All right. Let's move on here. We also have a Echo in chat. I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say about what happened tonight. Echo versus Johnny Casanova, and this we're going to relay back to Lord Mitchell Taylor and Manny Lemons backstage.
Yeah.
I don't know how these two just got together and ended up with a tag team championship opportunity at Milestone 13. Do we agree with this, first off?
No. No, Princess Taylor and Madeline Grapefruits do not deserve a title shot.
Lucas?
What?
I'm sorry, but they're kind of a pretty good team together, if you ask me. I know I don't like either one of them. You know how I feel about Manny Lemons and Lord Mitchell Taylor, but as two guys, they make a pretty good team. Lord Mitchell Taylor is a terrific veteran. Whatever we think about him personally, he is great in the ring. Manny Lemons has been a very successful wrestler and in tag teams as well. Not so much here at Rocky Mountain Pro. I think they make a pretty good team. Whether or not they deserve a title shot, that's up for the debate. But if you're looking for two guys that have accomplished quite a bit in their careers, you got to take that into consideration.
No, I understand that. I need to put my bias aside because I believe that this title shot should have been your starting lineup's title shot.
Honestly,
and I understand
I think Panthro and Jason Knoll has a better gripe on that
those
too.
Two teams right there that have unfinished business, and to me, it just feels like that Lord Mitchell Taylor and Manny Lemons are just kind of a placeholder, and they just kind of fell into this crevice while your starting lineup and Jason Nolan Panthro are kind of duking it out. And I wish your starting lineup had pressed harder, maybe finished this Jason Noel stuff off sooner, so they could have this premier title shot. I just feel like it was theirs, and they just kind of missed the hump this time. They missed the bus stop, if you will.
I think it's just bad timing. I think this whole Jason Noel thing came at a bad time, or it probably was not planned that way.
Time for Jason Noel. He did what he wanted to.
And now he gets a big milestone match. He gets a chance to get some revenge, as I think how he looks at it at Milestone. So, and Lord Mitchell Taylor and Manny Lemons are kind of taking advantage of a situation of there's a kind of an unbalanced situation in the tag team division right now, and so they're striking while the iron's hot. So you got to give it up to him, and I think Manny Lemons has been the kind of the orchestrator of this over the past almost month now, of getting kind of on the same page with Lord Mitchell Taylor. So probably a very smart strategy. I'm fairly optimistic about this tag team, to be honest with you.
You look at guys like that. You look at Manny Lemons, Gino Rivera. These are veterans that understand how to get themselves in spots to get big shots.
Oh, my God.
They're working their way in. What's up?
Lord Mitchell Taylor's in chat.
Oh, yay. What's up, princess?
Cry as much as you like. There will be new champions at Milestone. Your sorest losers don't deserve a thing.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd say they don't deserve a thing. I think that right now they are preoccupied. You guys are taking advantage of it. Good for you. And you know what? I don't put anything past Lord Mitchell Taylor and Manny Lemons. I think they're more than capable of defeating anybody if they're on the same page. My question is, have they had enough time to be cohesive as a tag team? You got to think, when he was teaming with Niles Plonk, I'm talking about Lord Mitchell Taylor, when he was teaming with Niles Plonk and Derek Stone, those guys were definitely on the same page. They were on the road together. They were doing everything together. And even they couldn't quite get to the point where they were, the tag team champions. Him and Manny Lemons haven't had near that type of time. No. So that's really my only question. It's not that they don't have what it takes, because they definitely have the in-ring skill to do it. And I just don't think they're even close to being on this as the level that La Isla is as far as cohesiveness.
I got to agree with you, Lucas. I don't see them on that level at all. And you know what? Big props for Lord Mitchell Taylor. He did the royal thing here. Manny Lemons decided to invade himself into the territory of tag team wrestling and got himself a shot, and Lord Mitchell Taylor did the regal thing and decided to marry into this so he could get a little piece of that. So hey, big ups for him doing the royal thing and marrying into some power there. And let's just hope that, as much as your starting lineup, maybe you call them your sorry losers or whatever, they did cause your last tag team to disband and ruin your monarchy, Mr. Taylor. So I wouldn't be calling them that, because if by any chance you do win this, I can tell you who's waiting for you, and it will be your starting lineup.
We don't know that yet.
Now that's my prediction, Johnny.
Let's see what happens in this match between Pantho and Jason Noel.
If they beat them, and if by some act of God, Lord Mitchell Taylor and Manny Lemons beat La Isla, I would hope that your starting lineup would be next on that list. Right, even if Lord Mitchell Taylor and Manny Lemons don't win and your starting lineup does, they should be next for La Isla after this.
All right, we have John Corpus saying JK Pop held the tag team division together. Which,
I'm not going to lie, they were a very dominant tag team. Yeah, absolutely.
He's not wrong with that statement.
No.
So let's get into the match because, as you saw, Lord Mitchell Taylor and Manny Lemons, that guy in chat, decided to intervene during that match and make their presence known.
That's why we can't have nice things.
What did you guys think of this match up until the breaking point, which is the ending of this match that ended up costing Echo the match?
I mean, this was a great match. Big props to Johnny Casanova. I mean, he showed me tonight he's ready for Milestone. I mean, he showed tonight that he is a very competent singles wrestler and can be aggressive when he needs to, and he took the fight to Echo. As much as we may crap on Johnny, he is very, very capable in the ring, and I think if he sets his mind to it, Caden is going to have a lot of trouble, especially in the 2 out of 3 falls match, because Johnny is, in my opinion, in better shape than Caden, cardio-wise, and can go longer, I think. Johnny had helped to win this match by a distraction. I think it wasn't about helping him win as much. It was trying to catch the ire of La Isla for Lord Mitchell Taylor and Manny Lemons. But, Johnny comes out. He does what JK Pop does best, Lucas, and that's make the best of everything that's happening around them. And through the confusion, Johnny picks up a win. And big ups for him. It's a big win.
It was a big win for him. I really do think that this is the momentum that he needs going into his match with his tag team partner. I think this is going to help make this an even more competitive matchup, especially being what you said, a 2 out of 3 falls. He's going to need some kind of edge because Caden does have, I think, a little bit of a physical advantage, cardio-wise, maybe even strength-wise. So I think having this, maybe this will give him a kind of a little mental edge that he has a one-on-one win against the tag team champions. He has that under his belt now. That's a big thing. Also, though, I think there has to be a little bit of an asterisk because of Lord Mitchell Taylor and Manny Lemons coming out. So I think there's also that as well to say that maybe without those two, Johnny Casanova wouldn't have got that win. That's debatable. But either way, you've got now a great match set up for Milestone with Casanova and Koyama. I think it's going to be tremendous for us fans that either even if you like JK Pop or you don't like JK Pop, this is going to be a great match to watch. Absolutely. And I can't believe what I'm going to say, but I'm looking forward to if we're going to have the tag team match between Manny Lemons and Lord Mitchell Taylor. I honestly think that's going to be a very good match against La Isla as well. So
I agree. That's going to be a great tag match. I honestly think that the Johnny Casanova Caden Koyama match has Bret Hart Owen Hart vibes from WrestleMania 10 to me. It really does. This is going to be a wonderful, wonderful match. And not just because we get to see those two punch each other in the face repeatedly. That's a plus. But it's just going to be a great wrestling match, too.
Yeah, if you love competition, if you love watching competitive guys that are just trying to prove that you're the best, I think that this is a match for you. If you're just a wrestling fan that likes competition, this is the match that you're gonna to be making sure that you don't miss a second of this at Milestone.
All right. Couple comments here before we move on. Of course, both from Mitchell Taylor. Someday you guys will figure out that I'm playing chess while the rest of you peasants play checkers. And Echo goes, checkers are fun, though.
Checkers are great. Chess.
And then,
I think he should be playing. I think he should be
solitaire. Whatever.
Yeah. I think he should be playing Twister with Derek Stone. I mean,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Mindless idiots like Echo think easy things are fun. That's why they're going to lose. The match at Milestone will be neither easy or fun for La Pisla or Pisla. He almost kind of pulled a Marky there at the end.
He almost did.
He almost did it.
Here's the thing. Checkers and chess don't involve speed and jumping off the top rope and hitting you out of nowhere and animalities to your face. This is very different, and you are experiencing explosiveness like you have never seen before, other than when you eat a terrible meal at your royal table, Lord Mitchell Taylor. Is the only explosiveness you're going to see like this. They are going to run you up and down that ring. You are not going to know what hit you. I'm sorry, but you are going to be taken to the stockade and held there.
And we have JK Pop Pro Wrestling account. This match is unnecessary.
Well, I mean, it's necessary because, we have to have a tag title match. They need to be defended. And just because
I think he's talking about the JK Pop match.
I think they're talking about their match.
Oh, no, it's necessary. I want to see Johnny. Johnny, listen. I want to see if you can do it. Prove me wrong, because I think
we don't
Caden
know
will
if
have
it's
you.
Johnny or Caden.
It's true, but it could be just it's JK Pop Pro Wrestling.
That's what it says.
Either one of them. I'm picking Johnny. So if it's Johnny, if it's Caden, prove me wrong. I'm picking Johnny. Going out on it.
All right. We do got to keep everything going here. We still got a lot to talk about. We had cameramen in the back catch up with Remy before he left this evening. And he is not joyful. He's not even focused on anything else but, from the looks of it, his revenge tour on CBD. His mood has just completely changed. 180 to everything. He is full-born beast right now. Now, we kind of talked about this earlier on tonight. Does CBD have a chance to put away Remy D again in a situation where there are no rules?
Yes.
And it's anything goes.
I believe so, Johnny. And here's the thing. As much as rage can fuel you to go and can make you do things you don't think you can do, you can have that just extreme rage strength where you can push through pain and everything. It also blinds you to things. It makes you make mistakes. CBD is the type of guy where if you make a mistake, he'll make you pay for it. As much as we maybe crap on him for his arrogance and the chip on his shoulder, it's there for a reason. And
I'll read that comment.
If Remy is not careful and
second.
Remy goes into this with blind rage, Remy could very easily find himself in a losing situation here. And that could just compound the mental capacity right now. Remy needs to calm himself. I understand. We've all had these people that get under our skin to a point where you just get too much rage. But going for a title like this, you need to calm yourself. You need to really settle. So yes, Johnny, I think that if CBD can weather the storm that will be the rage of Remy D, if that's blind rage, if he can find an opportunity, it can quickly turn to his favor. And just real quick, I understand, Lord Mitchell Taylor, you may not be familiar with history that does not concern you, but yes, I was in the ring at Milestone 11.
Oh, never mind. He read your comment. So, there you go. I don't have to repeat it. For everybody else, easy for someone who's never been in a ring before. I will expect a full retraction and apology 2 weeks from today.
I have been in the ring, thank you.
Lucas.
I didn't say anything. I gave them a great chance to win at Milestone. Mm-hmm. So I said nothing but complimentary things.
Yeah, but do you think CBD will actually be able to defeat Remy D in this stipulation? Yeah. Yes.
No.
Sweeping the Mets.
I'm sorry, but no. I understand what you're saying, Coastal, that, the rage can get the best, but it's just no DQ. That means if he beats CBD to where CBD's unconscious, he wins the match. You know, it's he could damn near kill CBD in this match, and he's going to walk out the champion. I don't see a way that CBD survives this. I know what Remy's capable of. He's told me, he's shown me pictures of what he's capable of. I've heard stories. CBD, like I said, may not just be worrying about his title. He should worry about walking out of Milestone on his own with his own will, because I don't think he's going to be walking out. I think he's going to be stretchered out with this Remy D.
One could hope.
All right, we had a whole bunch of JK Pop stuff going on. How many times do I have to prove you wrong? / Johnny. You're banking on the wrong guy. Coastal / Caden. And then these guys argue with themselves again and again. Log off. You log off. You log off. And then in the middle, we have Echo. 1,000 pardons, me lord. But didn't I beat you with a headlock and a kick once?
True.
And then Mitchell Taylor to Coastal. Sweeping the mat doesn't count.
I will let you know I was in the Colorado Cup for a solid 90 seconds when I got thrown out by a giant candy-ridden monster and a clown. I got terrible advice from my manager, Triple I.
Oh, yeah. All right. Let's change gears here. We've been talking about Remy and CBD a lot during this show, which that is going to be one of the bigger matches on this card for Milestone 13. But we got to change gears here, and we got to talk about the ongoing situation between Damon Ace and Mercury Yaden. Now, Damon Ace released a package during tonight's episode. Boys, where's Damon Ace's mindset at now after you heard that?
Solid one thing, Lucas. I think you'll agree with me. He has Mercury Yaden focused 100%. I think when Damon Ace wakes up in the morning, his alarm just says Yaden, Yaden, Yaden. He eats Mercury O's for breakfast. He watches Yaden tapes for lunch. Like, he lives, eats, and breathes Mercury Yaden right now, Lucas. And I'll tell you what, this is about as even as the match as you get at Milestone, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. This probably is the most storied rivalry that we've had going into a Milestone, at least for a long time. We've had some great storied rivalries in the past that have kind of culminated, and it seems like Mercury Yaden is involved in a lot of those. We're talking about, his rivalry with Hoodlum, and that culminated at Milestone 7. We've seen these before, but this one, just it's been well over a year. It seems like, even though it's started off kind of as a slow simmer, and now we're at, it's boiled way over the pot. It's, gotten all the way onto the stove and onto the floor. This thing has really gotten out of control. But what we did learn, and it's what you and I know even Johnny, we've talked about before, that this promo from Damon Ace basically cemented what we had said, that it was more than just about the NRW title. It's about being the man in Rocky Mountain Pro. And we hadn't really ever heard him say exactly those words, but he said that exactly tonight. So, and that's what we had always said, and he said that in his own very words. So that we know that this means more to him than just that title. This means if he can win this match, to him, he believes that he's going to prove that he is the man in Rocky Mountain Pro.
Well, we'll see if there's a rebuttal from Yaden, of course. We haven't heard from Yaden in a couple weeks, so We'll see what
I think he
happens and see if he
talked with
responds to
these.
that. He typically does talk with those. So this has been a little bit more personal than his recent endeavors with his other opponents, like Curtis Cole and who was the last one? I can't remember. Atiba. So only time will tell. That feud right now is the talk of the town. And it's been going on, and it's going to culminate at this year's Milestone. And we don't know the stipulation of this match. It has not been announced. As far as I know, Lucas, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there is.
No stipulation has been made yet. It's kind of been Yaden's MO. It's kind of been, the tradition of this title, at least for the past couple pay-per-views, that we usually don't find out till the night of what the stipulation is. So that
it's smart by Yaden. It really is.
It could be, and I'm not even 100% sure that Yaden's always the one that picks the stipulation. If
that was
this is up to
Danger
Dean.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. I'm like, does Yaden have a say in this match?
I don't believe that it's
honestly,
completely up to him.
I think at this point, I don't care what the stipulation is between these two. It's going to be, if you walk out, you're going to win. This is going to be just knock down, drag out, Pier 6, to quote the great JR, slobber knocker, just fist fight is what this is going to be, no matter what the stipulations are. This is going to be a fight.
I don't disagree there. I mean, we saw it the past couple matches that these guys have had out, and it doesn't even have to be a match between these two. These guys will get down and dirty anywhere at any time.
It could be a parking lot. It could be the Wimmer.
We've seen it.
Denny's.
We've seen it.
It could be, the Bronco Stadium at a game. They're going to fight no matter where they are.
All right. Taking it back a couple steps, we got the ignition picture to talk about. And we found out last Sunday of the new announcements that were made, at least on the show, that we now have 3 number 1 contenders for Zamori's Ignition Championship currently right now. So he's going to be a very busy man as long as he's still the champion through all those 3 competitors. But he has some competition tonight in a handicap match between Sky Hossman and Gino Rivera. And Big Z, man, no matter the odds, taking care of business. I don't know about you guys, but I think Zamori is starting to work his way, if not, probably has solidified himself as one of the greatest Ignition champions in Rocky Mountain Pro history.
Zamori tonight showed me that everything we've seen for the past 4 or 5 months is not a fluke. He came back. He's focused. He has a new attitude. He kind of took the aggression that we had all wanted him to have, that he adopted when he was with Bud in the wrong way, and he kind of harnessed it. And since he's come back, he has done nothing but just prove everyone that doubted him wrong and win. And he did it tonight. He took down 2 guys, a former Ignition champion in Sky Hossman, and Gino Rivera, who is a very accomplished veteran, holds many titles in other promotions, very decorated, and he took them both tonight, and he ended up winning. It just shows me that this Zamori has no quit in him. It shows me that he is focused, ready, determined, and I don't think it's so much the Ignition title as much as he is ready to just defend his turf. And when he steps in that ring, that's his turf, Lucas, and he's defending it, title or no title.
Right. I'm gonna use the comparison that Zamori right now is a lot like my Denver Nuggets. He's been very businesslike, just like my Nuggets have been in the playoffs, where they just take care of business. They do what they're supposed to do. They go out, they win games, and Zamori goes out and wins matches. He's the Ignition champion. He goes out, defends that title, and just does it in a business-like, dominant fashion. And he is. I think he is trying to make sure there is absolutely no doubt that he is not some fluke champion, or that that he's just going to be a temporary champion. That this title reign is going to last a while. Right now I see him as being the most dominant champion of anyone that's holding a title right now. He is doing it in the most dominant fashion of any title holder in Rocky Mountain Pro. And so what he did tonight was just so impressive. He's just dominant. That's all I can say. Just dominant, and I enjoy watching dominance. It's like we're watching greatness right now.
Although, as much as he's been dominant over these past few months, he's got 3 number 1 contenders staring at him, and these 3 number 1 contenders are no slouches, to say the least. Curtis Cole, we know what he's about. Triple Crown champion, I should say. Damon Ace, which he was another one of those great charge champions the past couple of years, besides Remy, and also the Twitch title holder. And now, recently crowned number 1 contender last week, Kendrick LaRoe. Pinning, by the way, Zamori to get that spot.
And here's my unpopular opinion, Johnny. It may be unpopular, but it's my opinion. Kendrick LaRoe, out of those 3, is the scariest for Zamore because he's pinned Zamore.
Yes.
Because Damon Ace is focused on Yaden and not the Ignition title. That already puts one thing against him. And Curtis Cole's arrogance gets in his way a lot. And I think that's something that would keep him from not only his size, but his lack of focus against Zamore would keep him out. So honestly, Kendrick LaRoe is the scariest person for Zamore right now.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. He has a victory over Zamore, which really can't think of anyone else that can say that, at least over the past 6 months. So yeah, Kendrick LaRoe's about as dangerous of an opponent that Zamore can go up against, because he's got that over Zamore's head. So I would say that Kendrick should be feeling pretty good whenever he gets his title shot.
All right. Zamore coming up huge tonight in a big handicap win. Keep that momentum going. Holy crap. We have some spewing in the chat right now. And, of course, Carson Drake's in the middle of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, come on. Great value Jimmy Hart has to have his voice heard.
Although we did have a statement from Ye and RMP. Stipulation is Damon gets wrecked. Period. End of story.
Well, I mean that, yes, but what is actually going the stipulation of the match? Not the outcome.
That we'll find out. But yeah, Carson Drake and Zamore are going at it. They're spitting gums at each other here.
Oh, Carson Drake better be careful, because he'll be spitting his teeth out of his mouth the way Zamore has been handling business.
All right. We need to talk about this, and I think this is one of the more enlightening segments that we had on Charge. Derek Stone at the Wimmer playing Twister by himself, and La Isla coming by to see if Derek Stone knows where Mitchell Taylor is. And wow, that's all I gotta say is wow.
You know,
your guys' thoughts on Derek Stone's technique in Twister?
The man knows his right from his left. And he knows
does.
His colors. So I mean, he definitely has a leg up on most children. I will say that I wouldn't play him in Twister. He's very flexible and a very athletic man for a guy of his size. I think Echo could take him. I don't think he could take Echo in Twister. I think Echo's got him on that one.
You think so?
But I mean, who? Yeah, I think who better to go to about Lord Mitchell Taylor than arguably Lord Mitchell Taylor's best friend, which is, Derek Stone. It wasn't much help. I think that they didn't get very much closer to finding Lord Mitchell Taylor than when they started. But we do know that Echo is game for a good round of Twister, Lucas, whenever
that needs to be streamed. That needs to be
Yes.
streamed.
Yes, I want to see. You know what? The pre-show for Milestone should be Derek Stone versus Echo
No. You got the
in
Colorado
Twister.
Cup. You got the Colorado Cup.
Can we do it before the Cup? Can it just be like a freebie before the Cup?
I think that should be a members exclusive stream.
True. Okay.
Derek Stone versus Echo in best 2 out of 3 in Twister.
I'm down for it. Yeah, I'll let you guys in on something. Derek Stone actually it called me from the Wimmer while I was at Bierstadt to get me to come play Twister, and I told him, what are you doing at the Wimmer? You're supposed to be here, not over at the Wimmer playing Twister.
Well, Maxine was coming.
He's stretching. It's part of his, physical therapy, probably.
Yeah. So he called me to play Twister. I told him no. I'm here at the Bierstadt. All I got to say is thank God he was wearing clothes, because I heard he likes to play naked Twister, and thank God that La Isla didn't walk in.
Yeah, it's very terrifying.
Thank God that La Isla didn't walk in on that.
Thank God the camera didn't walk in on that.
All right, we have Mitchell Taylor. Where I am, there are gates to keep people like La Pisla and Derek Stone out. Made reference to Derek Stone there. Apparently, we know where Lord Mitchell Taylor stands with Derek Stone.
Yeah, and I'm sure that wonderful gated community with the padded rooms where you can pretend to be king is lovely, Mr. Taylor.
Oh boy. All right.
Hey, it's his fantasy. I'll just help him live it.
Oh yeah. I got to work on that. That's something I got to do on my way back from Denver.
Is what?
The emotes. Did you guys like my uber realistic drawings of Lemons and Taylor?
Yes, very much so.
Where'd you put it? Did you frame it? Hashtag. This is the longest hashtag I think I've ever seen. Of course, it comes from Carson Drake. Hashtag, the lack of talking about charged champion Carson Drake is upsetting. Well, you should have been there for the first half of the goddamn show, because that's all we freaking talked about.
The lack of the charged champion having singles matches is quite upsetting as well, sir.
Jeez.
Why don't you remove your head from your behind cavity and take the megaphone out of your throat and wrestle, please? Thank you.
Well, apparently he's with a lady right now. So he can't.
I don't care if he's with his mother or not.
All right. Oh, Colton Peters' message retracted. Okay. It's at the front of the Wimmer. Is it hanging up?
I hope so.
So you telling
me
me
it should be the first thing you walk in to see.
I have to take a look at that. All right. Moving on. Obviously, La Isa's pretty PO'd after what happened tonight, and rightfully so.
It should be, yeah.
And they're going to let their anger out because it's official at Milestone 13. Lord Mitchell Taylor and Manny Lemons will be going up against La Isla for the tag team champions next week.
We're going to get some royal lemonade on the island.
If anyone is institutionalized, it's the guy who pretends he was in Milestone 11 and the whack job stone. Is he referring to you? Was that Milestone 11? I think it was.
Yeah, I mean...
It was, yes, it was.
I was there. Yeah, so I don't...
Yeah, there is video evidence you were in the match. You didn't say you were successful. You just said you were in it.
Yeah, I was in it. I mean, I got terrible advice from Triple I, my manager. But...
Well, that was your number one mistake.
Mark,
listening.
Too.
The official weapon 95. Oh, I'm assuming that is a Damon Ace account.
I hope so.
1-1-1, Yaden. Time to finish it.
Yeah, it's about as even as you can get. And I mean, I know, 2 years ago we had Damon and Ronan, and then we had Damon and Balaam last year in that amazing feud. It just seems like every year Damon has found someone that he just has this just absolute blood feud with. And this year it's even gotten more personal than I thought it could get last year with everything that happened last year. But this year it just seems like this is an obsession more so than a match at this point.
Milestone 13, Mercury fails. Oh, falls. I can't read either. So.
It's okay. It's late.
It is. All right. Couple more things. Sin's message to David Drake. I think
Who's terrifying.
I think we've officially found someone who is as crazy, if not maybe a tad bit more crazy than David Drake, and that is Sin Bodhi.
I don't know. We haven't got to the end of the show yet.
No, we haven't.
I'll reserve that.
Yeah, I went through a range of emotions. When I was watching that segment with Sin, I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, David Drake has finally met his match, and then by the end of the show, I felt completely different. So
as we all know, I have my issues with clowns, and Sin Bodhi is terrifying, and that promo was terrifying, and what happened, and we'll get there to Sin at the end of the night, is even more scary than anything Sin can do.
All right, well, let's not waste any more time. Let's talk about the main event. We have Atiba versus Curtis Cole.
With the best official in the business.
With the special referee of Bruce Waynes. And we all know these three men are going to be going at Milestone 13 in a number one contenders match. So, your thoughts on this match? And we might as well lead up into what happened at the end. Because it's the same old thing that's been going on ever since October.
I mean, this match itself was basically Bruce getting to kind of dictate how two people he is going to share a ring with at Milestone beat each other up. And that's kind of what it was. Because as we saw when Curtis went for a cover, and Bruce apparently got a message on his phone, or something was very important, he had to show the front row.
Somebody was sliding into his DMs. I mean, that's what was happening.
When you're the final boss, that happens. You're important. You got to take those. I mean, that could have been any one of the number of top tier other wrestling promotions in the business wanting the final boss to show up. So he had to take that at that particular moment. I would put Bruce's reffing skills though on top with his moonsault skills, and as we know from Milestone last year, his moonsault is in progress, as is his wrestling ability. But we get to the end here, and as Johnny said, it's the same thing that's been happening. It's just mind games and David Drake making his presence known even when he is not in the show. And Lucas, I understand that every time the lights go out, that is terrifying for you, and it should be terrifying for everybody. And we see something that is even scarier. We think the one guy that we don't think is going to be affected by these mind games can be affected by David Drake mentally is Sin Bodhi, because Sin Bodhi is just as terrifying. But Lucas, we see Sin wrapped up in one of them bags. Like, David Drake is a new level.
Yeah. It's one thing to, throw me in a van, and do some of the other things that he's done. It's something completely different when you take a guy like Sin Bodhi, and I don't know how the hell he got him there, but into a body bag, on your shoulder, have a seemingly passed out. Like, what in the hell? I don't even have words to express what David Drake is all about.
He also laid waste to everybody in the ring as well.
Yeah, you're right. What he has done it's beyond description. Every time I think that we finally have someone that can match what Drake does, from a mental standpoint or from a mind game standpoint, being crazy, then he just takes it to another level. Like I had just mentioned, I swore that just listening to Sin Bodhi that he couldn't get crazier. David Drake could not get crazier than Sin Bodhi, and then he does that. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's unprecedented to have something like this happen to a, I'll say, normal wrestler. Yes, it's terrifying, but someone like Sin Bodhi, who we look at on a different level of weird. He is the warlord of weird. It's a different level of mind games. For him to be affected, David Drake is scarier than we ever thought.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes tonight's episode of Charge. And we'll leave it off with what happened with Drake and Sin Bodhi. You can only imagine what is going to happen at Milestone 13 in the main event when Sin Bodhi goes up against David Drake for that Rocky Mountain Pro Championship.
And you don't want to miss Ignition Thursday. We have 2 more Ignitions and 1 more Charged.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we ran very late today. It's okay, though. It's the
That's what
march.
talk about, man.
It's the march to Milestone. We take as much time as we need here. All right. We're not going to go through the entire Milestone card tonight because we have a whole entire prediction show coming up this Sunday for a Milestone 13 all ready to go. So we're not going to talk about predictions or anything just yet. I will say that Milestone 13 is not just the only thing on the schedule for that week. We also have, yes, lots of shows that weekend. We have Beer Start with another round of Charge tapings the day after on Friday, June 2nd. Saturday, June 3rd, they will be at Ramiro's for another live show. And then on Sunday, I believe Snowpack. So I think
is there still snow out there?
The mountaintops, I'm sure. It's still pretty cold up there.
Conifer, there's probably not snow, but right up the hill there's some pretty big mountains that still have snow. Some of those passes are still snow packed.
I thought Maine was the only place that still had snow on the mountains.
All right, we have Mitchell Taylor saying, as much as I like humbling you peasants, Carson Drake is on the phone talking about owing a lady some money or something. I shall take leave.
I understand that he needs mommy to pay for your ride home, Lord Mitchell Taylor.
God. All right. So that's what's coming up.
Pay for CBD's ride.
We're going to get all that information for you guys on Sunday. During the prediction show, we'll get all the dates and times. I'll get everything rounded up. Because this Sunday is going to be the last Dudes and Belts show for a little while. Because as of Sunday, I believe me and Marky fly out to Denver on Wednesday, very early Wednesday. So we will not be doing a recharge next week.
Oh, I miss you guys. I want to go.
Let's see, hey chat, and Carson's mom doesn't talk to him.
She's too busy talking to Lord Mitchell Taylor.
Other than that, folks, again, we're going to try and save as much as we can for Sunday's show. We still have Ignition to talk about. Hopefully we get some answers on what's going on with the 3 number 1 contenders now for the Ignition Championship between Damon Hayes, Curtis Cole, and Kendrick LaRoe. We might have dates for those. I'm sure Lucas will let us know on Thursday when he's on Ignition with Derek Stone, assuming. And hopefully we get some answers there because it seems like Zamora is going to be one busy guy.
Are you going to be playing Twister?
I'm a little disappointed that I wasn't actually able to play Twister. I enjoy a good game of Twister.
You'd be good at Twister, man. You're like 6'5". You can reach all across.
Yeah, I got like a long wingspan too. Yeah. That makes. But I'm not as stretchable as I used to be. I can't get down that low.
Oh, Father Time catches us all, my friend.
Yes.
So I will say before we sign off for the evening, On top of all the matches that have already been announced, 3 were announced today. As a refresher, your starting lineup versus Pantho and Jason Knoll. That's official for Milestone 13. We also have Remy D versus CBD. Yeah, that guy who's talking to his mom or whatever. In a no disqualification match at Milestone 13 for the Charge Championship. And we also have now official Lord Mitchell Taylor and Manny Lemons. They will take La Isla on for those tag team championships. Other than that, folks, thank you guys all for watching. As always, leave a like on the video and leave a comment below the VOD. It helps us out with the algorithm and YouTube, as always. And if you haven't got a chance to watch the interview with Sergey on Sunday, you definitely need to go back and watch that.
Oh, you need to. It was great, #1 interview.
Yes, it is available for everybody to the public to watch. You can indulge on that throughout the course of the week if you must. It was very entertaining. Sergey was fantastic. We appreciate him again for being on with us. And June, we'll be doing the same thing with another RMP talent. That will be determined probably after we get back from Milestone. So, be on the lookout for that. As always, folks, until Thursday for Reignited, myself, Johnny Deathdrop. I forgot your name. I am that tired.
I am the Coastal Crusader.
God.
And I am
the
Lucas. And I am
Lucas
Lucas Bradwell. There you go. Go ahead, Coastal. Take us home.
Yeah,
And
take us
thank you
home. I'm done.
for
I'm
watching
cashing out.
And participating in Recharge tonight. We will see you on Thursday for Reignited. Stay safe. Stay classy. Peace out, everybody.
See? He learned. See you later, guys.
See you at the next one.